I'll just make sure I'm recording it to start off with, and then um,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to introduce yourself then?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Daniel Bennett, and I'm 50 years of age on Friday. Big, big century. Uh, I'm going to say I started me spiritual path, but I think spiritual now has been took out of context, hasn't it? In what a lot of people believe in who don't believe in what me and you believe in. So I'm just going to say it's basically I started my path of going within the way I call it now. What Jesus and Mary Magdalene and all that was trying to teach us. The way, basically going inside and just finding out who you truly are and why we've come down in this realm of to say of a lot of emotions that we have to feel and go through just to have an experience. Let's face it, it's a tough one once you open your eyes and go within and you realise the type of world that we live in and the journey that you come down to do. So in 2020, when obviously COVID hit, um, fortunately for me, I knew all this was going to happen, the COVID thing and how the world is run and who runs it. For me in 2020, it was all about going within, starting my path on learning how to release my traumas and finding out who I was. So basically, I was getting told to just meditate. So I just started to meditate like 10 minutes every day. And it turned into an hour. And then I got up to like 4 hours. And then suddenly I felt my third eye crack. I physically felt that crack and slip away inside of me. And then that's when I was getting visions of past lives. And obviously, when you open yourself up spirituality, your heart, you'd open it up to the universe. Because I do believe the universe and the planet that we live on and the sun and the moon, they are energies that we're all connected to. And once you open up your heart and your mind to that, a lot of stuff happens to you. Now, it happens, different things to happen, different people like yourself, Cara. You know this. For me, I see a lot of visions. So I've been told I'm guided that basically I'm a seer and also I heal frequencies of the land and buildings, places, anywhere. And that's one of my missions is to come down here while I'm down here and having an experience and trying to love life and enjoy what I'm doing is that I'm actually walking the land and helping Mother Gaia heal. Like you know, the grid's already set up now by the people who were supposed to set the grid up.
Yeah.
And I know a few people who have done that. So and it's hard turn now to help heal the land with. I do feel it's there's hundreds of thousands of people doing it. Some of them know what they're doing, some of them don't. I believe a lot of people are just nowadays there's a lot of people now going to a lot of places, of history and they're just going there to see it. And I believe they're doing their own healing on themselves and healing on the land without them even knowing it. And there's obviously people like yourself and me who do know what we're doing. So
Yeah.
for me, like I said, in 2020, all that started, and then I was getting visions of having the Merlin energy. So I was getting a vision of a figure who was, let's just say, portrayed as what we know today in the modern world as what Merlin's supposed to look like. But I felt that was a fraction of myself in a different time, way back when the Druids supposed to be about. I believe the Merlin is a title, not just a name given to, a sorcerer who, as the story as we know. I think that was given to a title to a certain druid who used to use energies on this land that we live with the stone circles and standing stones and other places in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales and England. So I do believe as well as there's a lot of bad energy left on this land through ourselves and through what we've done and what others have done, what others have left. And it's before we can. I feel this is the process of we're healing the land and helping her because she's healing herself. We're healing ourselves. We're helping her healing. She's helping us healing. So it's all just a combination of this energy as well that we're bringing in, because I believe a lot of us are bringing in the feminine energy that's coming into this world to balance the masculine energy out, because it's too masculine at the moment, far too masculine. So, but it's, you can see the change coming. I can feel it.
I do get
Certainly no.
flashes of that when I go to these places, flashes of blood, fighting, sacrifice, all these horrible things that happen. Just that must be part of that transmutation when you're there, I guess, mustn't it?
Yes, yes. I've been guided. That's what I do, transmute the darkness. So I go to certain places, especially, stone circles, churches. I go to churches a lot. Old churches, though, not just like 1800s. I go to, there's one, it's on just at the end of Anglesey. It's called, I can't say the word because it's Welsh. It's called, basically, it was built by Saint Ty Silaso. That was in 610 AD.
A
And I
lot of
went
them
to
are
that
built on
church.
sacred sites that go
Yeah,
back.
it is a sacred site because it's a little island. So when the
Ah,
sea comes in, it cuts it off from the
ah,
mainland. Not too much. There's a causeway that you can walk over. The old causeway is there, but some of it's being washed away in that. And
those
that's a piece of
places
land
are
that,
really special, aren't they? We've got one of those near me. I live just next to an island that used to be called St Michael's Island, but it's now what's it called? I can't even remember. It's Bigbury-on-Sea anyway, but there's one at St Michael's Mount in France, isn't there? And one I didn't realise there was one like that in Wales. What's it called? Do you remember?
it's called the island of Saint.
Is
I'm
it?
going to
Oh,
say,
did you say Bardsey Island? Is it Bardsey Island?
no, it's not Bardsey Island.
I
No, no, no. This one's before Bardsey Island. This is actually on the Anglesey coast, island
okay.
in Wales. So it's called. I'm going to just say how I think it's said. Tysilio.
Okay. And how's it
Yinnick, Tysilio, it's called.
how's it
It's an
spelled?
island.
How is it spelt?
Tysilio.
Okay. I've not heard of that one.
It's the old Cumbrian language, the Welsh language, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, that's a whole story itself. Just, why the Welsh speak that as well. And, the history that's tied to that. But what I seen in that church, I got told to go in it, and it was a lovely little church, was, but I felt at home. There was a couple of plaques from early. I think the earliest grave there was 800 and odd, I think.
Okay.
And it's only a little tiny church. It's not very big. Not very big at all. Like churches built in them days, I think, just small and felt at home there. Felt very at home. Just sitting in there. Got told sitting there for a little while. and then I got told to do me work. So I've got a certain key inside of me that they told I've got that can unlock the land. And obviously, with churches, as we know, they're sitting on certain ley lines because they use water as the frequency because of the bells. And obviously, whatever else they used to do in there, I believe they used to do singing and that in there as well. So frequency singing and with the bells, and some churches, had organs in them. So they used to use the organs as frequencies as well. Churches weren't a place of worship for me. Churches were a place of healing. Healing, because most churches are built next to water as well. So the healing, as we know, healing carries faster than water. So anyway, when I had to do my work on that. So, like I said, I've got a certain key inside me that says to unlock the land.
So do you know what that key is? Do you know, have you got details about that? Does it come with, is it associated with a
Yeah,
color?
I've drawn it. So he showed me what type. They made me draw it basically to show me what type of key it is that unlocks land.
Because I
And it's
was
not
told
like,
that I'm also a key holder, and I feel like when I go places, what I'm showing is a blue diamond, and it brings in the Syrian frequency to the land where it is, it unlocks it. I feel like there's lots of us that have got keys, but they're all different ones, and it layers and layers and layers as we go
well,
to
I
these
see
places.
green.
You see green, so yours is green.
Yeah,
Ah, okay, that
I
makes
see
sense.
green energy,
Hmm.
and I class that as the healing getting done, on the land. So obviously, I use this key to unlock the land, and I physically see the land being unlocked because you have to draw a symbol as well on the land, especially in stone circles. I'm going to go to standing stones. On churches, I tend to just have to put my forehead to the church or the building, and then it shows me what type of energy has been happening on there since it's been there. That
What I
happens with
tend to do if I go to a stone circle is to walk around it anti-clockwise and then just to stand in
sometimes,
the middle with my hands up like that to bring the energy in. But I've never been
yeah,
shown to
sometimes, yeah,
draw a symbol.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I have to do that, and sometimes I don't. So it's just whenever I get told what to do when I go to that certain place. So, like I said, so I got told I'll be doing a lot of walking
Hmm. What do you feel
while
like
I'm on.
the symbol does then when you draw it? Do you feel like that sort of puts the code onto the land or something? Or
Certain symbols do, yeah, because I always get told to leave like a
okay,
spiral on certain places, just on trees and then anywhere along the path.
okay,
Um, the, the the key is obviously to open, and then I've got a certain symbol that I have to put on certain places, especially in stone circles. And I have to stand in that symbol.
okay.
I have to draw that on the land, just with my hand, and then I connect to it, um, and then I actually see it open, like
That's
a
really interesting.
like a,
What's
I'll
the
say.
difference between before it's open and after it's open then? What, as you see in it open, what do you see inside your mind's eye as it opens?
Just like a hole in the ground,
Like what, sorry?
just like a hole in the ground
Okay, all right.
with it's just darkness.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's because it's a hole in the ground, so it just looks dark. But like I say, I can physically hear the symbols because it's four symbols. It is, yeah. The spiral, the circle, triangle, and then it's a square,
Okay.
and
And
then I
that
have
so
to stand in that.
that then connects it. What do you feel that connects it to then? If you say you're seeing darkness, do you
I
feel
don't
like
I don't feel like it connects to anything. I feel like that just opens the land up for me.
okay. And then
So like
after
a
that,
portal. So like
what
just call it like a portal, but I call it a gate. I call them locks because they sound like locks when they're
uh,
opening up. the clunking noise of them because they spin anti-clockwise.
I've heard that noise before on the land, that clunking noise. So maybe
And then I
that's
see each symbol opening, shooting down, and then it's just like a big hole.
wow.
And then I'm actually standing on top of that symbol I've just put on, which unlocks. And when I look down, I'm just basically standing above the hole that's being generated.
Wow. That's
So like
pretty cool.
like a gateway, basically, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like a gateway portal, you know, or is it? Or
that's
it's
the
just
word
me
that I've
opening up
heard
the
a lot, a
land.
gateway. Yeah.
Just of me. I just see it as me opening up the land, and that's it. So when I stand on there, obviously, sometimes I get told to give thanks, and that sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get asked to go get on with it, and
Yeah.
so sometimes I just get asked to put my feet on it, and then that's it.
Hmm.
So I like Stone Circle, the one in Aviemore, and a couple of stone circles as well in Scotland. I've been actually asked to do that, and I've asked to speak like language.
Hmm.
And after that's done, then I see all the green energy, especially through the hole. I'll see it'll shoot up, and then it'll shoot into the ground. So I see all the tree roots, all the leaves, all bare roots, all the ground roots, everything, all the ley lines as well, all the little ley lines as well, not just the main ones, all the little ones as well. See everything, all the like the fibres of mother of the planet as well. I see all that light up green, and I can go for ages, and it'll just spread out. And then I get told, like, you're done, and crack on.
You've done a lot of walking. So do you want, as you're walking, you're leaving these spirals and you've done many, many miles all over the land. So that's you transmuting the darkness as you're going, do you feel then? Or are you leaving your codes on the ground, or do you know specifically, or
No. I'll just get told to just leave them.
yeah, but do you have like an idea? Because you say you're transmuting the darkness. What's
But
occurring as you're moving through those lands?
oh, like I said, I got guided that I was going to do a lot of walking. I just didn't realise it was going to be a lot of walking.
Yeah.
So physically, like hundreds of miles. So I've done nearly 1,000 miles, and basically I've done it with two lads who have met, who I know I was guided to, and we've had other lives as well. So you know, I've had visions of us being in the Templars and that as well. So we're definitely part of the same soul family.
Yeah.
So we've connected in this life, and I can't do this work without them because they're just as important as me. Even though I do the work, they're there watching me do the work.
Do you feel that they have energy keys as well, or anything similar to that?
No, I feel like they're anchors. They're anchors for me, and like they protect me as well and watch over me as well. So
Mm.
they, they help me because it's weird because when we walk in a triangle. If the path's big enough, we walk in a triangle, which a lot of paths can be big enough. But
Yeah.
until we go into the proper mountains and the path, but we walk in a triangle, which is kind of weird because
So
it's
is
like
there one of you at the front and then two behind either side, like that?
yeah, or one at the side and two at the side,
Oh, okay.
and like sort of one at the front. So it's like it's just I'd have to show you. I'd have to physically show you on one of my videos and that to show you that. And it's weird, one of us move over to one side and another one of us will move to the other side, so the triangle always carries on. It's,
Oh, you
um,
have to show us. You put a
the
picture up.
lads, yeah, the lads know off. They're wide open. Their eyes are wide open to what's going on around the world and what's going on energy wise and that as well. So they understand. They understand that they're just important as me on these walks as well. That I do in these places that we're guided to go to,
Yeah.
and I think we'll be doing these walks for a while. I get a good while.
Where do you feel like, which ones have you done? How many of the big walks through Scotland? You've done like hundreds of miles.
Well,
Some of
there's a
the,
few big walks in Scotland, but you've got like all the little ones. So we've done we've done 8 in Scotland in the last 2 years. So we're to like 7, should I say? Really, yeah. The West Highland Way, the Great Glen Way. West Highland Way is 96, nearly 97 miles. It runs from runs from Mullingar to Fort William,
mm-hmm.
and then the Great Glen Way that runs from Fort William all the way to Inverness, and that's along the fault line,
Mm-hmm.
which is you've got your Loch Ness is on. That was a heavy energy walk. That
Mm.
really heavy. When I got to Inverness, just to the brows, you see Inverness. It's about enough, I'd say, a couple of miles before you get into Inverness. Like, but when I got onto the brow and that, I just felt all the energy draining out of me.
Mm.
Like like I'd been holding on to all that transmuted energy that I'd done, and then finally, when I knew it was near enough done, before I got to Inverness, all the energy just come out of me, and I felt absolutely shattered.
Mm.
That was only a little 80-mile walk,
Yeah.
but that was up the mountains, down the mountains, and along all the locks that run along the fault line as well. So that's a fault line where I think they reckon millions of years ago they crashed together.
Yeah.
And that's what's called the fault line. So that energy was heavy.
Mm.
That's the heaviest energy I felt on these walks, that one, the Great Line. I don't know if it was to do with, don't know. But yeah, that was funny.
Mm.
That was funny because we seen 2 standing stones, and to tell you the truth, why they were up there, I haven't got a clue. Because they were up well, at least 1,200 foot up.
Wow.
Because we were walking down onto Loch Ness and all that, and we were quite far up, so I'm sure it was at least 1,000 foot up.
Mm.
And they look like, I'd say, they were either side of the path. Either side of the path. They, tell you the truth, they look like they've been moved from wherever they've been and been placed there for some reason, or
Mm.
well, it was weird. Just 2 standing stones facing each other.
Sounds like a gateway, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. We all had to connect to it.
Mm.
I had to leave my symbols on them and then just carry on.
Sounds like I was just getting the words Merlin Gateway. I don't know why that would be up there particularly, but
Oh, I was, quite far up. So
yeah.
you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't be able to see it or anything like that unless you were physically walking the trail
Yeah.
to get to it.
Mm.
So that was like 40 odd miles. And we've done the East Island Trail as well. Um, that's when
You've frozen a sec. Your screen's frozen.
yeah, so is yours. Oh yeah,
Oh, there we go.
you're
You're
right.
back.
Yeah. So done the East Island Trail. That was 70 odd miles. Where was that from? I can't remember where that was from. That was from somewhere to Aviemore.
Aviemore. Okay, that's a beautiful area through the Cairngorms. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So that was through the Cairngorms area. Yeah.
Just that. So yeah, there is. Yeah, there is actually. Yeah, done a few trails through that Cairngorms as well. So on the, I got told to have a swim in Loch Moy on the East Island Trail, and
That's the one where all the ley lines meet, is it? Lochmoy. Is that there?
yes, that's where all the ley lines meet.
Yeah.
And there's actually an island in the
Private
middle of it.
island. It's private, isn't it? The island.
The island is private. Yeah, you're not allowed to go on it. There's a big, massive obelisk on it.
Oh, is there? They put a massive
Yes,
obelisk
there is.
on it.
Yes,
Well,
yeah,
they're trying
yeah,
to invert that then, aren't they? Trying to invert that. Can you see
yeah.
it from
That's
the
that.
land?
Yeah, all the ley lines in Scotland meet in Loch Moy
They do.
on that
They would make
island.
it private, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would. They would. I don't think anyone owns it. To tell you the truth, I think it's just them. But yeah, I was going to try and swim over to it and that, but really, you need a little canoe to get over to it and that because they've let it overgrown and that, so you can't see what's on it.
Yeah.
So there's only a few places that you can physically try, to try and get onto it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's got a big obelisk on it as well. So I just got told to go and have a swim in the water. So why not
The
have to
water,
swim in the water?
the water would connect you to the energy of the island anyway, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So, and we mate took a picture, and it looks like someone in the water because I'm standing there doing that, just giving thanks and that before I let myself fall back into the water because that's what I do when I go for my cold dips in the locks. I always get told to go for the cold dips and locks, Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
So done a couple of done a dip in there. I had to do a dip in Loch Lomond for to receive a gift off the Merlin Energy. So I had to do that, and then Loch Moy. Don't know why they asked me to do that. I didn't know until obviously when my mate took the photograph, and then he showed me later on in the night. Sent it to me, and basically just before I fall back into the water, there's actually light codes coming down, and there's a figure looks like it told me, ready to guide me into the water.
Wow.
I think I've sent you the picture. I'm sure I sent you the picture.
I didn't see the figure or the lights.
I'll have to send you them.
Yeah, I've seen video of you.
I got told it was John. I've got told it was John Saint John the Baptist
Okay.
metaphysically baptizing me. So
Hmm.
I haven't. But it was kind of weird as well because the day after I actually came across a church that was called Saint John the Baptist as well.
Oh.
The very next, yeah, the next day, I've got a picture of it all, and I had to give it a touch with my hands and my forehead, and leave a little symbol on there. And I seen a big oak tree growing and it blooming into loads of blossom flowers, pink rose quartz. I'll say the colour rose quartz flowers. I don't know. I didn't know what that signified. I don't know if it was growth or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get, I get visions, like I said, of places of touch, and when I get told to touch the places, and
Hmm.
some of them aren't very nice because I see a lot of people getting murdered and
Yeah.
women and kids, getting
I
raped and
see that. It's
murdered
horrible.
and battles, and I hear as well and I feel as well, so I
Yeah.
can hear the screams and I can hear what sword class and I can hear
Yeah.
and I
I've seen
feel as
that.
well. So
When I went to Wales and we saw the original location of Stonehenge up in Pembrokeshire, it was very much connected to that sort of thing. It's not
yeah,
nice when you know that you've lived that life and you've been part of what was going on there. It's quite gruesome sometimes, isn't it?
yeah, we've all had dark lives, haven't we?
Hmm.
Anyone says who hasn't is, lying. We've all had dark lives. I know I've had dark lives. I've been a Viking a couple of times. Been a Templar a couple of times, 5 times supposedly. showed me one of my deaths in Templar, burnt at the stake. So I don't know if it was burnt as part of when they burnt everyone
Hmm.
on Friday the 13th, wasn't it?
They tried
That's
to
why Friday the 13th, yeah.
hide the sacred knowledge, didn't they? I guess.
Well, yeah, the Gos, they call it is it Gosnik, is it?
I don't
Something
know.
like
I heard that term.
Templars for me were fine. They started finding out what Jesus and Mary Magdalene were doing and what they found of
Yeah, there's the
earlier people were
true
doing
way
as
of
well.
going. Yeah, the true way of going
Because for me,
inside.
when I look at it, when I feel through the research, because I love my history, always have done, always been into my Templar since I was young, always been into King Arthur, Merlin, all these mythological stories that we've heard. I've always been into the Egyptians and the history of them and the Sumerians and the other history, the Hittites, the Phoenicians, the Sea People, which for me are the Phoenicians. The Hittites are the
I connected
Sea
into
People and the Phoenicians.
I connected into the Phoenicians very strongly when we went to Italy to Rome. That their history on the land there is very strong because that was everywhere I went, it was the Phoenicians that I was connecting in with.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because of the the exodus that have happened out of Egypt and some part of what we know is called the Middle East now.
Mm.
Because there was an exodus and that, because obviously they were all fighting for Egypt, weren't they? Because they all thought it was the Holy Land, which it is really, because Egypt's not even in the Middle East, it's bloody Africa, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's East Africa. For God's sake, that's Iraq. That's where the Garden of Eden is for me.
Mm.
Since the flood, I think man has always been trying to see why these big, massive pyramids lay on our lands, especially in Egypt.
Well, we've
Because
got
I
the
believe, I
movement
believe the
as
pyramids
well.
were built 30, 40,000 years ago, could even be longer.
A lot of the pyramids in this country, in England, are now just look like grassy hills. I believe there's
Mount,
several either side as you're driving from Bristol into this part of southwest England. Feels like there's a pyramid on either side there, and the one at
mounds,
Silbury Hill has been
mounds,
proven to be one, hasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, mounds. Sometimes in
Bloody way.
Scotland, you look at some of the mountains and the ones that haven't been mined have still got the peaks on.
Yeah,
Some of them look like bloody pyramids. It's unreal.
yeah. There must be some in Scotland. There must be.
No, there's plenty. There's plenty. It's just you've had them overgrown, and there's a stone circle. I went to the stone circle. I had to on the West Highland Way, having a look at the map, and we noticed stone circle. So as we were coming up, we just seen the stones supposedly cross 3 fields. So I had to walk across 3 fields, climb 2 walls, 2 fences, big fences, wide ones to keep all the deer and that out, and then walk across another field just to get to a stone circle. And that was only a half stone circle. But I had to connect to it, do my work anyway. And right opposite is this big, massive mound. Looks like a hill. But it's
Mm.
the only hill what's got loads of trees and all forest and vegetation all on it. All the other hills, just that grass.
Okay.
And that for me was connection to the stone circle. So I don't know what it was, but I just
Mm.
felt the connection straight away. As soon
That's
as you
what
look right
that's
opposite,
That's what I was shown yesterday, where I went to this stone circle on Dartmoor. I was told to go to the tour on one side, and then trying to find the stone circle afterwards, I got lost and went to the other tour. So these two rocky hills, and what I was shown before I went there was that it connected with a golden swirl of energy down through these tours that then spread all that energy out into that sacred landscape where you've got you've got the stone circle and then a long 150 stones in a long line, and you followed the stones up and you got to the other end and you stood on this cairn and you looked back, the tools were either side, and directly straight down the middle went this line of stones with the stone circle, and it just felt really powerful. You had this shape configuration, and so the connection between the tools and the stone was very important. So it sounds like similar to that pyramid, probably with the stone below it.
I don't know. When you look at the ancients, let me say the tribes of Israel, right? A lot of their monuments was like tower circles and towers as
Okay.
well, and
Hmm.
they all match each other because to some in the Middle East, all around there, the old Persia and all, and Egypt, and then you come over to Scotland and Ireland and England and Wales, and they're all over there as well. And you're like, especially Scotland and Ireland, and you're like, well, why is them exactly the same as them over there? All the mathematics links up. It's all links up to like, geometry and geometry, and that it all links up to that, and the stars. They all knew all this. Now, where did you get all this knowledge from? Because supposedly, the flood, we all come from Noah, don't we, and his sons.
Hmm.
So for me, after the flood, I think it was once man started to repopulate the planet again, because I do believe that civilizations were wiped out with the flood. What civilizations, we don't know. We just know it was a more high vibrating civilization and technology better, because obviously the monuments that they left were still standing.
Hmm.
And I believe when man started, like maybe with even Sumerians, trying to find out why all these monuments, and because don't forget, a lot of stuff after the flood, there would have still been a lot of evidence. And the evidence that we see nowadays is not the evidence they would have seen back in the day after the flood, because they would have seen a lot more evidence. Because don't forget, we've had world wars, and how many wars have been fought since after the flood, and how many times have been, we've all heard, every power has gone around and destroyed.
That's what I found when I went to Italy, to Rome. The weird thing was there were these obelisks everywhere, and they'd taken all the obelisks from Egypt and they placed them all over Rome in strange configurations, especially like in the middle of St. Peter's Square. You think they're doing like they they knew exactly what they were doing, and I don't think we really have a clue. But they inverted the energy on the land using
Yeah, of
these
course, yeah.
monuments. So the
Masculine,
inversions
masculine,
that
yeah.
they put in place, that's they know exactly what they're doing, and we have never been trained or given the knowledge of all of this old history and the power that's within these stones, and how they've done all this sort of grid work and stuff on the land to invert the energies and to make them not beneficial, which is what I guess you were trying to heal and solve now with all this walking. It's and how we all rebuilt the grids with the work that was done with visiting these places and reconnecting all these points back up again in a positive grid formation.
Well, like you said, and I've said that we know the grid's all set up now, all
Yeah.
connecting. The grid will be turned back on, so people need to understand that these pyramids and these other megalithic buildings all around the world now, they're all going to reconnect up because people have brought them all back online. And then you've got people like ourselves who are going around healing all the land to make sure it's all healed, so we can all ascend to the fifth dimension.
Yeah. So
And
do you
all
feel
these,
that that grid work is the sort of foundation for the new earth that was
yeah.
put into place and set? Yeah.
Well, also, it's yeah. Also connecting the grid back up of planet, Mother Gaia or Mother Sophia, what other people call it.
Yeah.
But definitely the planet is a grid. We know that.
Yeah.
our ancestors knew all that. That's why they built all these big, massive pyramids and and stone circles and other gatherings. Because a lot of people used to gather, and the pyramids for me are a battery that sends out free energy,
Mm.
and it sends it out far, and there's freedom just there. And then you go to China, there's loads over there. You go to Bolivia, there's loads over there. South America's full of them. The Mayans, the Incas, and that, they all say, mate, them pyramids and all that were there before they got there.
Yeah, definitely. So,
I'm guided that I'm called, the Egypt we know is the modern day Egypt.
yeah.
I'm being guided. There was an older so-called Egypt called Kemet,
Mm-hmm.
which is even older than that, than the modern day Egypt. And that's where these pyramids and that come from.
So
And
where
we
do
were
you feel?
connected all at once.
Yeah.
All the
And
grid was connected,
where
and
do
we
you
were all
feel that
connected.
was? The Comet. Where do you feel that was?
Thousands, talking 40, 50,000 years ago. Could even
Yeah,
be
but
longer.
where on Earth? Where?
Well, Kemet for me would have been a bigger place. I think it was like the whole of Europe, something like that.
Okay.
And don't forget, the map we're shown today is even the real map that we should even be looking at,
Mm.
because we haven't got a clue. Greenland's certainly not as big as what they say it is on the map. We
Mm.
all know South America and America is bigger than what they say on the map.
Yeah.
So where are we really on our proper true map? We haven't got a clue where we are, because supposedly England is nearly to the centre of the whole map, isn't it? Near the
Mm.
North Pole. And, for me as well, the British Isles and Ireland were all a part of Atlantis.
Yeah.
I know it was a part of Europe and that, and Norway and that, with Doggerland and Spain at one time before one of the floods. Don't forget, there's been a couple of floods, hasn't there? Hasn't just been one big major one and that was it. There's been a couple.
Yeah. It's like
Because there
we've
was
been trying to do this ascension cycle and we've gone through it all 7 times to get to the stage where we can actually complete the mission in this incarnation, hopefully.
I've been guided that I've been here for all seven
Yeah.
fingers. What did they call it? Seven ascensions, or basically 7 rebirths, and I'm from the start to the end.
Yeah. It's been a
So
long process. No wonder we're all tired.
we're all getting tired, and that, aren't we? Because the energy, the people in power, unfortunately for us, who we have allowed to get in power, some are human, some are non-human. For me,
Mm.
um, they're trying their damn hardest to take it. Once the split happens, they want to take as many souls as they want with them, don't they?
Mm.
So, like I said, it's gonna get rougher. But for me personally, it's all going to be over by 2030, 2032. That's what I feel. That's what I've been guided. That not like, oh, everything's going to be hunky dory and that's it. And just the old world as we know, and we'll be carrying on. So the old world will carry on there, 3D, because I firmly believe once we split and we carry on our ascension to 5D and rebuild this planet and do what we need to do, and 3D will still carry on, and that'll turn into your AI stuff and
Yeah.
Terminator as
Well,
we
I
go.
feel like that was the timeline split that was the AI timeline. And that was the timeline where Earth was destroyed because we put all of our faith in technology. But that's where
Well,
we came back in time with the timeline wars to where we are
I
now to
wouldn't say
create.
destroy. I wouldn't say Earth was destroyed.
I think there was a timeline where it was, and that's why we came back. It was exploded. It was a different version of Earth, which is why we came back to where we are to redo all of this to create this new timeline branch where we've got this new version of Earth. There was many, many souls that were lost and fragmented through all time and space. That's what I've seen in past life regressions. Tiamat was the name of it.
Tiamat. Well, If you're saying that's the old Earth, well, Tiamat for me is just another planet, and planet Earth is still there.
I guess there's the new Earth. Well, it's all just names, isn't it? Really.
For me, like you
Incarnate.
say, it's just names, and it's just wisdom and knowledge that we're learning. So for me, Tiamat, when I heard, it was a lovely planet, and then it got took over, and then it got
Yeah.
blew up into pieces. Supposedly, that's what the Milky Way that you see is part of the Tiamat. And Earth was already there anyway. It's just then Earth was then being populated by the people of Tiamat and other planets because of the Galactic War, what was going on, i.e. Star Wars,
Yeah.
the
There's been a
film
lot of
Star Wars. So
war
you're
there.
Lyran and your Lyran and your Draco Wars, basically.
Yeah.
What's happening for me is was happening millions of years ago. And our planet Earth was actually inhabited by some of these different beings because they've been pushed off their own planets.
Yeah. But it feels like we were all seeded from many different races from all around different planets and things originally.
Have you ever heard the story? Have you ever heard the story? It's, supposedly there'd be a hybrid race that comes along and ends all wars of all wars.
No.
And supposedly we are the hybrid race, the human race, because we've got at least 22 different types of DNA inside of us. So I think I'd have to believe that with what's happening now.
I hope so. I feel like I definitely connect to many different star systems because when I stand in the stone circles and unlock things, I see this blue pyramid and I feel connected to the Syrians. But as I was walking down the stone row, I was shown green energy and I was told that it was like the Melchizedek energy, which is connected to the Merlin energy. And there's aspects of us in so many different star races that we can bring in those energies because we have that
Fractals, yeah.
connection to many different.
Fractals, yeah. I do believe there's 12 different versions of ourselves in different realms.
Something about the number 12, isn't there? With 13 being the new creation connected to the new earth.
Well, I think you'd have to say 13 because 13 is feminine, isn't it? 13 means feminine.
Okay.
For me personally, means feminine, especially
I
with the
always
number 3.
12. It'd be like there were 12 daughters of the flame energies that I called in to sort of help with the healing on the land. But why is 13 feminine, do you feel then? What's the connection with 13 being feminine?
Because of 13, I believe my left ear now has just gone boom. I believe the 13 is to do with 12 masculine and 1 feminine energy on like a council.
Okay.
Like the Druids would have had a 13 council. There's 13 star signs, not 12. There's 13 tribes of Israel, not 12. We all know 13 has been so demoralised because it's unlucky. Friday the 13th, killing all the Templars on Friday the 13th.
That's true, yeah.
So the number 3 resembles the feminine energy because it looks like a pregnant woman. You've got the number 3 is the C in the alphabet, which is child, Christ consciousness. As well. So it represents child as well, the number 3 for me, which is, is all about feminine as well, isn't it?
Do you feel that you're
woman
going to continue with these walks until we get to that sort of 30, 30, 30,